What's going on, y'all? Nightmare Comics 1. And I just want to talk about this crazy influx of Avengers books. Like, we got, let's see. If I miss one, leave in the comments. But, we got New Avengers, Avengers, Secret Avengers, Avengers Academy, Avengers Prime, and is that it? Is that like I think that's it, but that's entirely too many Avengers books. Like, that's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like, it's probably more, but it seems like at least one comes out every week, and that's just way too many. It's too many teams, and on top of that, the books really aren't all that good. Like, New Avengers is New Avengers is this. Hey, there's a bad guy. Let's beat up the bad guy. Let's talk about it afterwards. Every single issue has been like that. Don't like it. Don't like it at all. Avengers, the main book, Avengers, like that hasn't been all that bad. The thing with the young Avengers and all that, and yeah, it's been alright, you know. But it's not nothing that I would go out of my way to read. Now, Secret Avengers, on the other hand, I really been liking that because you know, it's different. Like, you know, they go on the missions that the other teams don't go on, you know. And it has Steve Rogers in it most of the time, you know, and he's like part of the team. So, you know, Steve Rogers, part of the Avengers, is always good, you know. Like, Steve, like, I put a comment on Twitter the other day, Twitter Nightmare Baller 1. If you watch my wrestling videos, that's why I chose that name. But I put a comment on Twitter the other day, like, Steve Rogers could get me to beat up my grandmother if he said it was for America. Like, honestly, like, that's a charismatic dude, man. Like, imagine if he like ran for president or something, man. Everybody would vote for him. But yeah, Secret Avengers is good. I like that. I like the arc they just finished with Nova on Mars, and I like that. I'm not saying it's blow away great, but at least it's better than the rest of those books. At least it's a good book that I think I'm gonna stay on board for. But you know, New Avengers is god awful. Avengers Academy, a lot of people like it, but it just ain't my cup of tea. No, I mean it ain't terrible, but and you know what? To a degree, you might as well call Thunderbolts an Avengers book too, because it has Brian Michael Bendis' love child on it, Luke Cage. So I mean, you might as well. I mean, it's not, but you might as well say it. You know, it's just way too many Avengers books, yo. What I think they should do, you know, there should only be two teams if you're gonna do this. It should be the Avengers and the Secret Avengers. Like, have the Secret Avengers like they have them as the secret team that does stuff that the other teams won't do, and have the New Avengers. I mean, have the Avengers just be Avengers. Didn't they get rid of New Avengers? Like, didn't they like finish that series and now they just pretty much started over? You know, I don't get what they think at Marvel. Like, you know, I just think that I like the fact they want to use everyone they have. I understand that, but like, we don't need this many Avengers books, you know. And you know, I've said this before, but you know, I'll say it again. Like, when you do stuff like that, it weighs on people, and people just stop caring. Like, look at what happened to the Justice League now. Look at the Justice League. Like, remember I don't like this guy, but remember in the 90s and early New Millennium when Grant Morrison was writing this shit, how everybody read Justice League and everybody wanted to see, you know, what was gonna happen next and all this stuff. Now, every time I buy comics, I see so many Justice League books. Like, no one is, and then they have. Okay, this is gonna turn into a rant on the Justice League. I'm just gonna call this influx of Avengers teams and mishandling of the Justice League. Okay, but yeah, they used to have, you know, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Martian Manhunter, Green Lantern, people we wanted to read about. Now it's like, no disrespect to Black Canary because I like her, but it's like Black Canary, and for a little while they had like Mon-El. Like, who the fuck likes Mon-El anyway? They had it was like they had a bunch of characters, like a bunch of secondary characters in the DC universe. Honestly, like now it's a little bit better, but like I like JLA Generation Lost. That's actually a good story. I'll admit that. But like, but the book just got so uninteresting that you know no one gave a fuck anymore. But and then also like the stories were terrible. Like James Robinson was doing shit that I whatever. Just whatever. Like I feel like if you're gonna have a team of heroes, no matter what the team is, whether it's the X-Men, Justice League, whoever, if you have a team of heroes, the story should not be these complex, over the top, make you think a lot stories. They shouldn't be like that. Like Grant Morrison, he's usually like that, but with Justice League, he really wasn't. Like the stories were simple. People that haven't been reading for a long time, they could pick them up and get right into them. It wasn't, like you had to have been reading forever to get the books. You know what I mean? Like you could. There was so many times like in the '90s, and I know I keep bringing it up, but like with JLA and early New Millennium with like Kurt Busiek's Avengers and things like that. Like you could you know what I'm saying? Like you could drop it for a little bit and like pick it back up, and I don't know why you would drop it because both of those were amazing. But you could if you wanted to, you could drop it for a little bit and then hop back on it. It was crazy. Now let's say you was reading Avengers, like let's say you was reading New Avengers, the last New Avengers title, and let's say you stopped reading, like you stopped reading for a while, like you stopped reading comics in general, and then you decided to get back into it last week. Let's say you stopped reading in December of last year, right? And you decide to hop back in it. You gonna be lost, like you know what I mean? Because it's so many Avengers books. You gonna see Steve Rogers like, hey, why is he dressed like that? You know what I mean? Like you're not gonna know what's going on. But because it's so just crazy. But anyway, that's all I wanted to touch on. I'll holler at y'all later. Peace out.